Hi, I'm Sudofox and decided to do a live stream. Yay! Um, I'll do this for half an hour, and if I get any questions, I'll start focusing. Hello. Oh, welcome. Hello. Hello. Progress is good. I don't have any updates at the moment here. I'm actually working on a new feature. So I've been wanting to expand how Cinema works a little bit here. So one of the things I've been working on is sort of an email notification system. So on Footnote Antenna, you would get notifications if somebody's going off your footnote, if somebody commented on your footnote. I think you'd get a daily star report, you'd get information, and there's all kinds of little things that you can get notified on, and which was really cool because you could really choose what you wanted to receive. So I'm working on a email notification system that, from the ground up, focuses on you being able to customize what you want to get and what you don't want to get. Now, this also has some improvements with notifications about administrative actions as well. Um, of course, you're going to get to choose whether or not you get an email about being banned. You will get an email about that. So, critical things regarding account status like this. Other than that, though, and I have a sneak peek for you who asked the question here. I don't know if that's in reverse for you, but this is something I'm working on right now. So from the top down, Sudomemo News, which is the weekly news, Pseudo Service Updates, which is like tips and tricks on how to use Footnote Studio, how to make good thumbnails, new features and whatnot that aren't mentioned in the news. You can get a notification when you're adding someone's favorites or when you receive a comment. You can say, oh, I want to, at the end of the day, get a report of how many stars I've received and what I've received them on, or maybe new views on my footnotes or downloads. I want to get a report when somebody spins off my footnote or replay. And there's other things like I want to get an account when I want to get a notification when my email address is changed or my password is changed for account security, which would more be a thing for when, hopefully, eventually, um, um, Pseudomemo Theater is updated to support that kind of interactive action that right now you can only really do on PSI. And of course, you can get an update when there's an update on. You can get an email when there's an update on content you flagged. Right now, if you get a notice when a footnote that you flagged has been removed or has been left alone. In the future, you'll get these notices both on Sudomemo itself and in your email box, so you can choose which ones to get. So yeah, so that's one of the things I'm working on. I hope that answers your question. Still looking forward to your questions, guys. Mr. David, it's been fine. Just explain why it's not prepared. Yeah, so the reason why that wasn't really a thing before is I was never really interested in sending a lot of notifications about things to people, and I didn't ask for people's email addresses, but I kind of have to get the email addresses for the new account system. Um, mainly because it just never really considered that a needed thing. Were you recording? Oh no, this is my work. I work as a systems administrator. Probably the youngest person here. But yeah, Pseudomemo was not originally designed as, for one, actually getting that information would be hard because we didn't really figure out how to trigger the in-app keyboard until way later. Once that became a thing, a lot of possibilities opened up. But because of that, it was really designed to store the absolute minimal amount of user information needed. As you know, your account is oriented around your Footnote Studio ID, the 16-digit ID. And yes, I am thinking about changing that here, but that would take a lot of changes to the design of the app. So the design of the web application. So that's further along. Thanks for asking. I look so uncomfortable with this camera. Keep them coming. Oh, what gave me the idea of making pseudonym? Oh gosh. That is a story that goes back to high school. So I started Pseudomemo. Footnote Hatana ended in my junior year of high school, so I started working at Pseudomemo. I was riding around our local lake on my bicycle. I did a lot of bicycle riding back in the day, and did for quite a long time. I still do it. So I had no phone. I didn't get a phone to the day I graduated from high school, and I'm actually grateful about that because I haven't put it down since. In fact, I've got 3. So I was riding around our local lake, and I really wanted some kind of device that could access the internet. I didn't have this. I mean, so I eventually stopped at a garage sale, and there was this Nintendo DSi, the light blue one. It had the top screen was broken, and they wanted like $35 for it. So I'm like, okay. So I scraped together the meager amount of money I had. I offered to do my sister's chores for a week, and I raided the state quarter collection of. I had a state quarter collection of my own. I took some of the less rare ones out. So I took my scraping togethers over to the yard sale, and I knocked on their door because they kind of closed it up a little bit, and I got that DSi. So I took it home, and I fixed it with parts from my 3-year-old broken one that just didn't work anymore. And I turned it on, and the first thing I did was set up the Wi-Fi, and I was like, oh, I want to see what I've missed on Footnote Hatana in the time I've been away. And I go on Footnote Hatana. Footnote Hatana has ended its service. So one of the things I liked doing back then, and I still like doing, it's one of my biggest hobbies, is kind of reverse engineering things. So I'll get to that in a moment. Try to make it 360. So I started trying to see if I could get it to talk to my computer, and I had been working on that a few years before. I stopped working on it because I kind of goofed up with something. I accidentally added 6.2 billion stars to a footnote of Fred's, the Doomsday parody one. Yeah, I got so scared I stopped doing it, and many apologies for getting that day from me. to probably a bemused support staff. Back to 2014. Actually, this was 2013 when I started working on it. I had just ended my junior year of high school. I started working on getting it to talk to the DS, and I got some surprisingly excited people talking to me about it. And as you know, the demo of Sudofox came out in like the end of January of 2014, and it's been growing ever since. How much? And yeah, it started as a fun little side project, and it turned into this. How much does it run? How much does it cost to run the Sudomemo server? Sudomemo isn't just one server. There is the main server, which is the prices. And then I have some stuff for supporting services, for the authentication service, just little DigitalOcean stuff. It's mostly there's a cPanel thing I get from my work that I use for some of it. Overall, though, Sudomemo costs between $270 to around $280 a month. It's gone up a little bit as people have started getting on it more and more because of the impending reopening. Thankfully, a good amount of that is now covered by Patreon. Yay! So before then, it was almost completely paid for by. I started the Patreon earlier this year. Before that, it was almost completely paid for by me. Every month, a couple $100 would come out of my paycheck and just go back to just hosting costs. The majority of that just goes into Sudofox. But is it possible to get fitness? If it's not on your DSI, then no. If it's on your DSI, then yes. The DSI XL comes pre-installed with fitness. The regular DSI, depending on the one that you have, depending on when it came out, launch day DSIs don't have it. DSIs after a few years have it pre-installed. If you're going to be getting a DSI, talk to the seller, see if it has Footnote Studio on it, make sure they don't reset it in case you lose the app, which is okay. Next question. Most likely not. Someone coming back before New Year's or after? Oh, well, I want to have it out at Christmas. That's not a promise. I doubt it's going to happen, but I want to have it. And if there's something I really want, work really hard to get it. There's a lot of things there's a lot of features that I'm adding, a lot of new things, stuff for GDPR junk, and the aforementioned, very customizable mail and notification settings. one of the really important things that I'm really focusing on now is moderation structure. So number one, we need to get some new moderators. We've been working hard on moderator training. We're going to be publishing a moderator term. So if you become a moderator, the way that you interact with the community is going to change. Those details will be published. It's something that I think is very important. I think it will help with people treating moderators differently, and it will also serve to protect both moderators of the community and the members of the community by setting a good standard. And that's one of the things that made it really hard to build a good moderator team, to find people to moderate, because before Sudomemo got really big, it was sort of moderated on the basis of have I gotten to know you? Have I gotten to trust you? Which is not efficient. It worked for a while, but it doesn't work. And because of that, there is going to be moderator training. You have to agree to these terms of moderation, which will be published. There's going to be a trial period. There's going to be lesser responsibilities, and after you go through things, then your privileges and your responsibilities will increase. And one of the things that will change with how you interact with the community is, say in Discord, if someone wants to message you, then it should be done through our mod mix system, which other mods have access to, which is a good step for accountability to prevent any kind of abuses or imbalance of power. While doing research on a good moderator structure, that's one of the things that really stood out to me with how other communities manage things. So I'm going to adopt that. Moving on from moderator structure to the next part of your question, after adding the features, the new features and the GDPR stuff, well, that's actually really it. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that has to be done. A lot of security work, a lot of there's some marketing that's going to be done in order to get things ready. If you saw my video that I published yesterday about the new Footnote ID system, not Footnote Studio ID, but Footnote ID. If you go on Sudomemo Video or Sudomemo right now, you're going to see that by footnotes, we no longer have those numerical footnote IDs. Instead, we have a 6-digit combination of letters and numbers, all caps. And the idea behind that came to me when I noticed that people were reposting footnotes from Sudomemo on Instagram. And they might have said the name of the artist in there, but they didn't link back to the original footnote. The justification for that was you can't put links in Instagram. And I thought, well, what's a way? Number one, what I said in the other video is that you need to obtain consent from the creator of the footnote before republishing it. Number two, if you want to publish a footnote that was raising on Sudomemo on, say, YouTube or Instagram, you should give some way to get back to that footnote. Introducing the new footnote ID. So 6 digits long, usually all caps, combination of letters and numbers. You can easily put it into your description, like Sudomemo footnote ID this, and then I demonstrated it in the video, but you can go to search and oh wait, I turned off my hotspot, so it won't work. You can go to search and you can enter that footnote ID and it'll take you straight to it. And it's super fast. It's so much better than command codes. Like, do you remember command codes from Footnote Antenna? Like, you had to draw them out. Like, you had to download like a a pixel font, sprite pack to even get them. And then you had to copy and paste them to get the command codes to share them, and they were like impossible to share online because you had to find like the right equivalent emoji. It was dumb, and like I'm not going to bring back command codes. If I think of some way to use that command code input thing in the future, I might use it. I kind of doubt it. No, that Flipnote ID thing is meant to really improve how creators are credited when their footnotes are shared outside of Sentinel, because they really should get the views. They should give consent before it's shared. That's one of the things I'm really excited about seeing the adoption of, and I've actually messaged a number of Instagram accounts who make it the focus to repost footnotes, letting them know that they need to do that. I'm going to put that expectation out there because I've made it so easy now that there's no reason not to. And pseudo-memo theater will be updated with a way to easily jump to those footnote IDs. So I hope that answers your question. How did I get the footnotes from Flipnote Hatena? I have the footnotes from Flipnote Hatena and from Flipnote Gallery World, which was only available in Japan. How do I have them? Nintendo left their S3 bucket listing still open. That's pretty much it. I put almost $2,000 into buying the hard drives and the 15-day server. 15? Yeah, 15. That's 15 base server with these hard drives, and I posted about this. I recently purchased the last 3 to 8 terabyte hard drives needed to store the footnotes. So there's about, depending on whether you're using 1024 or 1000 units, there's about 23 terabytes of content. It includes everything from Flipnote Hatena, everything from Flipnote Gallery World, every Flipnote, mind you. And it is a ridiculous amount of data. I don't know how I'm going to manage it, but I'm going to do it. And this is coming later in the future. It's going to be costly. The hard drive costs alone have... but I think that that's an important piece of culture. It was the formative part of many people's careers as artists and writers. And I'm looking forward to bringing that. One of the things I really want to do is find a way to get the original star count for the footnotes. It's possible to do, but I don't have the original file names. I have them in like the footnote 3D format. Unfortunately, yeah. Which we've almost completely decoded, but there's still some weird things about it we have to, and that's later on. So yeah. Some people aren't excited to see their old footnotes game. I'd rather have them show me. I actually am planning for that. So I'm going to make it so that you can log into your old Hatena ID. And I don't have this completely associated yet, but I have the mappings of footnote pseudo IDs to Hatena IDs for many of the accounts. So I'm going to make it so that you'll be able to log into your old Hatena ID and you can actually choose which footnotes of yours are shown to the public. Being able to get to your old Hatena doesn't delete accounts, so it's really a matter of if you want to get access to it, just find your old Hatena ID. It'll be shown. You can dig through your emails, send a password, reset an email, get into the account, log in, and open. So it'll be really simple. And since email, for the most part, for the majority of people, email addresses, I mean, they might change from time to time, but I've had the same email address for years. So I'm not too worried about that. So, yeah. Get your own company and make lots of money. Money's never really been my focus. I'm starting to regret that because these things are starting to cost ridiculous amounts. I mean, like, for several years of system administration experience. Anyway, you're in Nintendo Match right now. No. Not really. So they haven't shut down Sudofox. I don't plan on using any assets owned by Nintendo. As far as I know, those footnotes, they were all public content. So it's what I'm looking at doing. I just have the means and the experience and whatnot to actually facilitate that. But if in the rare chance that might happen, I intend to, of course, write it. But I don't think that they would really be able to find just like there's the Miiverse, there's the what was it, Archiverse, like a portmanteau of archived Miiverse, Archiverse. It's not that. This is all user content. They made their own assets for the most part. So I'm not too worried about that. Especially for something that's been written down since that time. Next question. Are you a robot? Would you ever make the footnotes accessible to the public in virtual world as via Patreon supporters? I never thought of eliminating it to Patreon supporters. Why would I do that? It'll be accessible to the public for free. There's going to probably be a lot of bandwidth costs and a lot of operating costs, and of course, I have to maintain the server and dealing with that amount of data is expensive. But it would be accessible to the public. So, what I'm not sure what you're asking. You're asking 3DS. Would you please put a couple more words in your question so I can work it out? Oh, by the way, you guys should check out the Sudofox Daily Draw. I've been promoting it endlessly. Sudofox Daily Draw is, if you haven't heard of it, it's an initiative to give artists of all levels a chance to sort of have sort of daily doodle. Topic that you can share. I want to tell them quick. I'll ask. The Sudofox Daily Draw is a daily event similar to the weekly topics that we've seen on Itinerant and Sudofox. It's pretty simple. Every day a topic will be published. Today's is Cozy Sweater. Yesterday's was Snow Fort. Each day a topic will be published for you to submit a drawing. And at the end of the day, a winning submission and the new topic will be still get. It's done through a Tenor blog. So most of you will probably already have a Tenor account if you came from Footnote. So time to crack out that OG 10 ID, make me laugh at it, or maybe make a new one. And participate. It's really easy to do. We usually don't get that many submissions. Most days we only get 3 or 4 submissions. Saltwater, no, you cannot access it in Marine 3DS unless you have homebrew and you obtain the original Footnote Studio. But we don't officially support that. Biohazard's current. Sudomemo already isn't on my site. If you go to sudomemo.net, you can browse footnotes, you can share them, you can do comments, you can do the weekly news. Yeah. In the future, I hope to make it so that you can interact with Sudomemo free. So yeah, that's a way off in the future, though. There's a lot of changes that would have to be made to make that possible. Some of which I've already made. So, yeah. Can I add a search bar? Well, funny you ask. We have a search feature for users actually, and I'm going to be expanding that to search for footnotes. Right now, the channel system is antiquated. I want to either adopt a system in which you can link footnotes to multiple channels, like was on Footnotes Hannah, or be able to tag them with approved tags. Of course, you know, controversial, hot button political topics will probably be declined. But I'm not saying you can do footnotes about those, just because it would be an easy way to target our users, which is something we've been working against. Anyway, though, let's see. Maybe. Search is definitely going to be improved in the future here. We already have the user search, which I'm really proud of. Here's how the user search works. So I went through the usernames of basically every user on Sudomemo that had a username that had non-alphabetical or numerical pointers. And what I did, so you probably know users who will put different symbols in their characters as substitute for letters, and that makes them really hard to find. So what I did was I went through all these usernames and I manually kind of classified what each of these letters was referring to, and I made a table out of that. So now that I have that, the user search will actually take that into account and it will match those users really efficiently. It works really, really well. I'm really proud of it. No matter whether or not their username is written with alphabetical characters. Yes, I will add a footnote to the search. Biohazard asks, I can make a server footnote, and I can do it from my record. Yes. I hate switching WPA to WP. Actually, so the way that you're going to connect to Sudomemo will be changing. Shutterbug was working very long and hard on finding a new way for Sudomemo users to connect, and finally did it. In fact, I gave him like a good $700 as a thank you. It's basically all the money I got from the Patreon for Sudofox that went to him. He wasn't expecting that, so that was sort of a donation to him as a thank you. Anyway, though, Shutterbug came up with this fantastic exploit. Basically, that lets us bypass the one thing that was preventing people from connecting to it. Because of that, yeah, and it was released after it was released as NDS constraint, but he found it working on it for Sudoku. So because of that, that enables being able to use Mario Kart DS and whatnot online as a sort of a bonus. Something that I'm thinking about doing is actually working with WeConnect 24, WeMMFi. I need to do my research on that, but I've been talking with people up there about kind of integrating into that. I don't know how any of their services work. I've never used them, but one of the things I want to do in the future is do away with this proxy. Now, that would require some pretty intense infrastructure changes, but I think it's doable. I just need to ensure user security is maintained while doing it here and further working with them. But if that's possible, then I would probably be glad to work with them. There's a lot of details that have to be resolved first about who runs what. Due to I'm very concerned about security for users. So yeah, that is being considered to answer your question. Turtle, the old Nintendo DS games have the Wi-Fi stack actually embedded inside of the game itself. Not within the DS, but the Wi-Fi stack is inside the game, like inside the game now. Which is why the newer games that were released after the DSi had an updated one to use the last three connections in the advanced settings. And the first three. It's because in the DSi enhanced mode, you get this stuff. So I think Pokemon Black and White were two of those games. I don't know. Earlier in the stream, somebody mentioned that the stream was random here. I'm thinking about increasing my YouTube presence. I don't have very good YouTube presence. But I'm thinking about doing that. I'm so busy with everything else that I barely have time to like put things out about myself. So yeah. Yeah. Student on the 30th. As mentioned before, if you have Homebrew on the 3DS, then you can use footnotes to do it. That's not officially supported. But I don't like ban for it or anything like that. It's just not supported. And we won't tell you how to do it because that would involve obtaining the footnotes to your ROM, which is actually against the terms of what we permit discussion in the Discord server and therefore everything else, because we got to remain squeaky clean, so that nothing that we do can be considered as active privacy. Because of that, we don't permit that kind of discussion. Squeaky clean. We're working on the squeaky clean bit. If you release a tool, if you post footnotes on pseudo memo, that would be automatically converted to MP4 for you. I'm thinking about making it a citizen feature to get a upscaled version of it that you can post on YouTube here. More details about citizenship and how it's going to be changing. Can you release the tool though? It's kind of coupled in the pseudo memo. A lot of changes would have to be made in the free data. And right at the moment, we're probably not going to be releasing that tool, especially since it isn't actually finished. There's a lot of little bugs and quirks and a lot of differences, a lot of little things that you have to get right to make it work. Is it possible to add more than 3 colors, red, yellow, black? No. You can mix colors though. And yeah. But you can't add any colors to the server. Yes, you could not put that but if you were to if you want to go to the Discord, you would go to sudomemo.net and there is a Discord widget on the front page. We don't encourage any modifications in the regional map because that would become incompatible with everybody else's and introduce issues. Pseudo memo at its core will never be only for modded systems. One of the things that I think is great about it, I've gotten a lot of feedback about how simple it is to connect to and how, is that you don't need to have anything other than a DSL with footnotes connected to it, which has been one of the great driving forces in how it works. So yeah. We would never support modification of the application itself. Now that's my answer. Do you think it's possible to actually drop the parse and TNS for cinema? Drop the parse. That was actually mentioned a few minutes ago. Right now, for sake of security and some other things, it's possible to do. It's definitely possible. I could do it. However, the way that pseudomemo was set up would have to be reworked. So it's possible that I'll do that in the future, but right now the proxy is going to stay until some other things are finished and completed. I don't own a PSP. I do own a Game Boy Advance SP. Also, one of the things about the NS method is that in certain cases, it doesn't, like, now this is, I actually had Cinnamon working with DNS only in the past. In certain cases, public hotspots the DNS thing won't work because they'll override DNS queries, which is no good. In which case the proxy would be enabled. But in which case the proxy never would work. Although, I don't know, that'll be something that's looked into in the future. Insta, Snap, Facebook, Twitter, anything else. I'm sorry, what do you mean? I have an Instagram. It's moonshine.player, which is the name of a character of mine. I have like 3 characters, one of which is half in development. I don't have to name my characters right. I have a Facebook, but with like 350 pending friend requests, I don't add people from Sudomemo on it usually. I don't use Facebook very much even. It's really, I really only keep it open for some old sites where I have the Facebook OAuth login and to manage the Sudomemo Facebook page. There is a Sudomemo Instagram account, which I own. I was considering posting footnotes on it, but I was too busy at the time when I first got it to really do that. And then I'd have to choose which ones get posted, and I have to manage all the other stuff. And the time I got access to it was a time where I really was feeling bummed out about something. It was years ago. How old am I? Well, when I started Sudomemo, I was 17. And it's, that was in 2014. It's now 2018. I'm actually 22. I don't want to feel old. Oh. I started it when I was 17. I was working on it in high school. A lot of people have an idea that I was a lot older when I started it, and that's caused some issues. I was 17 when I started it. My birthday's in May, so yeah. I'm a youngin'. Has Nintendo acknowledged Sudomemo? No. No, they haven't. Can you continue the DSI show? Possibly. Give us the option to buy all games for free. No. That's piracy. Well, the games aren't available. Oh, but you can still get them on 3DS, so technically, either way, it's if that's something I don't really know about. That's why you create Sudomemo. That was mentioned earlier in the stream, actually. If you want to skip back a little ways, maybe look at the transcript when this is published. I kind of tell the story about how I was just basically wanted an internet-connected device. And I fixed a broken DSI I got at a garage sale, and then I was like, oh, footnote 10 has been taken down, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to go watch all the footnotes I missed in the past 3 years. And then I just started tinkering with it, because that's kind of what I do, and side project, and it turned into this. That's how I started. It was just a fun little side project, and I never, even in the first 2 3 years of Sudomemo, I always told myself that I doubted that it would be around next year. And then it kept being around. And then I got stubborn about it. And I'm like, it's going to be around next year. I'm not going to let it die. And it's not going to die. And the footnote committee is so unique and so special. There's such a different, how do I put it? kind of relationships that you have with other people, where you communicate by putting drawn comments. That kind of communication is so unique. You almost exclusively have that kind of communication and chatting on, basically social network created game devices. Mavis is one of them, although you could give a text comment. So that changed a little bit. But it creates a whole new dimension. Saltwater. No. Don't try to get something out of Nintendo, please. I'm very happy that Nintendo has left me alone, left me well alone, and I have no desire for that to change out. I don't want any acknowledgement from them. But pre-installed napkin. I don't know of any pre-installed napkin. Range? Hang on. Pre-installed napkin. Brain Age Express, maybe? I don't know. I've never played them. Maybe I played them when I was like, oh gosh, I would have been 13 or 14 when I first got into them. Yeah, I might have played that a while ago. I'm just not really interested in it, to be honest. I'm too busy with Sudonym and all these other side projects I have. But, April 5th temperature at 7. What is the hex code for the color of the red star and pseudomemo? Actually, if you go to my Hatena profile, and I'll just drop the link to that in chat. Error. Try again. What? I can't send links in my own chat? I guess that works. So if you go to that page and you take a look at that red star right there, that is the actual original SVG that was used to create the red star image on Pseudomemo. If you use that image, please give us credit, because we made that. It's original content. It has the Pseudomemo sticker aesthetic. Pseudomemo is supposed to look like a sticker site. But if you use that, please give credit. But it should have the actual color code inside of the SVG source. Just color pick it, you can pull out of the SVG. Savage. I still break the Pseudomemo one. Oh well. I hope to be in Pseudomemo again. I hope you're in Pseudomemo again too. Looking forward to the re-release. No, it's me. I should do this more often. Keep the questions coming. if you subscribe to my Hatena blog, there's a link to that on the page. Footnote Hatena re-releasing for February. Re-releasing the works. Sudomemo was abruptly interrupted on April Fool's Day. So of course everybody thought it was an April Fool's joke. We had an April Fool's joke prepared for everybody. If you look at the Sudomemo locales repository on GitHub, which basically contains the strings for like every bit of text on Sudomemo itself, there is one called ENZA. It was originally ENXD, but that didn't really work with the Git text library. Anyway, that is basically we took the English translation, the original English text of Sudomemo, and in a lot of different places, we just memed it all. And I set the default locale for that day to, of course, the NXD. Then nobody got to experience it because Nintendo closed the thing and it's not working. We're getting close to the end of the year and it's almost ready to be released. And I'm really actually glad that happened because it gave me a lot of time to work on other things and new projects and I'm so glad that I got that chance. I'm so glad that I was kind of forced to take some time away from Sudomemo because without that, I wouldn't have gotten to like making Hatena Haiku anti-spam and getting more involved in Hatena and like a Hatena power user at this point, and blog, all these other projects I'm working on, and really getting to get out of really re-engage the community, make things like the Sudomemo Daily Draw. And I'm glad that it's given me the time to do that because I've done so many new things. I'm so glad about it. What's your favorite DS game? Footnote 3. I feel like way deep on my DS. I don't have time for any other DS games. But Footnote 3 is probably my favorite DS game. Because it's not slated for the past 5 years. Speaking of which, we are coming up on the 5-year anniversary of Sudomemo. I will have Sudomemo open for longer than Footnote Hatena was. In fact, we've almost passed that date. Now, mind you, Sudomemo hasn't actually been accessible for all that time, so I haven't counted the time when it's been down. Would there please be Sudo in the USA? There is. I'm in the United States. I'm in Michigan. It's cold out there. I live in the capital of Michigan, actually. If you mean would Sudomemo be available in the USA, Sudomemo will be available in all regions. By the way, about the all regions thing, if you speak a different language, yeah, join the Discord server. Be prepared to introduce yourself and give some kind of social contact link. Top Hat Sudomemo isn't currently open except for a number of people who have testing access. Now, if we get 10 submissions to the Sudomemo Daily Draw, 10 submissions to the Sudomemo Daily Draw today, or any day since there's only 40 minutes left of the deadline, I'll put another testing link out in the Discord so that you can join it and you can see the instructions to connect. Now, don't share those instructions to connect. Some people have and they got banned. What makes Sega still manufacture consoles? I think Sega probably stopped that for a reason. I don't know anything about Sega. Anyway, though, join the Sudomemo Daily Draw. If we get 10 submissions, I will put out another testing server link for the entire server to access. It'll be limited to 10 accesses. Top Hat, I'm not sure if Top Hat Cat animations. You've mentioned this a couple times, and I've replied a couple times, but you can't access Sudomemo right now. Only a limited number of people can access it. That's why I'm talking about how Sudomemo will be. Oh, it looks like we've hit an hour. I think I might cut it off here. I'll give it a couple more minutes for anybody else who's interested to get a question in. Hi, Galaxy Perfect. Sudomemo, that information will be, Sudomemo will be reopened for use on the Nintendo DSi. One moment. So I have to type this out. Why would you buy a Game Boy Advance SP for $475 when you can get something awesome like this? Look at this. You know what this is? Haha! The ISTWL debugger. Flipnote Studio was developed on one of these. It's got like, you plug it into the wall with like a Wii power adapter. So it doesn't have a battery. You want to see inside it? I'll show you inside. Or maybe I should save that for a different video. You want a different video? I might make one. I took the screws out. Here's the inside. We can discuss that later, but I think you should make sure that you always look for both sides of the case. I tend to learn from mistakes. So it's something that making mistakes is something that makes us human. Learning from them is something that makes us mature. Here's what I have to say about mistakes. It's important to recognize the mistakes that we make and learn from them. People grow and change. That's something that makes us human. But without room for redemption and forgiveness, the world would be in a very sad state indeed, as young mistakes permanently stain our worldly lives. It's also important to get both sides of an issue. If you only listen to one story, you'll never get the full thing. If you bring PSP service back online, you will be met. No, I bet there are people working on doing that. Not me, because I don't have a PSP and I'm more of a Nintendo dude. I mean, oh, by the way, here is another piece of Nintendo dev hardware. It freezes on boot, so I have to use this DS download station cartridge to auto boot it, and then I can go to the main menu. Here's like 3 copies of Flipnote Studio. 2 of them work. Here's some of the inbuilt developer apps you can use to like side load applications and browse the file structure. It's pretty cool. It's possible for me Turtle, we should probably, I don't know. I have a ton of little checks put in pseudo memory for anybody trying to break it. I care about the security of pseudo memory users. It's very important to me. As such, I will strive to fight anything that anybody tries to break into it. Actually, I haven't made an official statement on this yet, but we recently had a Slack token compromised for moderation, two-factor authentication, and interactive stuff. The reason I haven't really made it public yet is, I guess I'm making it public now, just not officially, is that I had to confirm that the person who did it was who I thought it was, which I heard back from Slack, and after getting through to get that information from them, yeah, it was them. But it's the footnote community in general matters to me, and I want to, of course, do it, and it takes it away. They also attempted to spoof login this internet, get into my account, and they somehow got access to some backend URLs that have been completely closed off at this point, just for general information thing. My checks caught a good amount of it, but I'm working on vastly improving security better. The person who did it is used the Slack token to send harassing messages to the Slack. That's all I'll say now, as it's sort of an ongoing thing. But the security of like account information and stuff has not been compromised, as far as I know. So I'll probably release a statement about the compromise. Again, as far as I can tell, they got knowledge of some of the backend URLs. They didn't get into the server. Transit bus. Anyway, that information will be released later. But there's some stuff that I gotta take care of first to make sure it's ready for that. Trains and buses, holy moly! I love trains, subway trains especially. Stand clear of the closing door, please. Ding dong. That's something I rode when I went to New York City last time I went to New York City. Last time I was over that way. I rode the subway for like a couple hours. I just love it. It's so cool. It's like an underground network of trains. I just think it's super cool. Buses, they're cool too. They're vehicles though, so they're more common and they're not part of they're part of a big network. But I like things on rails because all that stuff has to be coordinated and it's like a big connected network. Best subway trains, but dirtiest stations. Yeah. But they're pretty clean for the number of people that go through them. Obviously, they've got a lot of, the MTA has a lot of workers who maintain it, and it's pretty impressive for you, all things considered. All right, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Any last questions you want to get in? How do you think the boss of Article 13 will be usable for Pseudomonas? Article 13. Listen all the time, which is why I take stringent measures to protect against it. Protect and detect. And defend. I actually work as a systems administrator. Sorry for Thursday. What did you ask again? Article 13. I don't know jack about Article 13. I just know about the whole name thing. Top Hat Freenote died like ages ago. Like, yeah. I think Freenote died when the Hatena auth servers. When Hatena changed their authentication process, and we had to change ours as a result. Yeah, Freenote. Turtle says it wrong. Freenote died in its own accord. It. Anyway, I don't really know much about Freenote, so I don't really have anything to say about it. Pop music? We listen to it. No comment. Maybe, but I don't know. Seems like a bit of a concern. It could be a bit of a security concern, but Turtle, actually, you're right about that. You're right. It does it? Competition does increase growth and new features. You're right about that. I actually recently made a donation to both IPG Flip and Kairu, both of 50 euros. IPG Flip, I don't know if it's going to die, but I do know that Inboxy is also working on other projects to preserve and archive content, which is mainly the reason why I'm giving him a donation. Specifically the Guitar Hero song list and stuff that they're trying to reverse engineer on the Wii U, which I think is really awesome because when things die, when things pass away, when companies set them to rest, and people really enjoy and still enjoy, I think it's a bit of a shame. That's why I think it's important to archive good content and things that bring people together as a community. So yeah. Um, so I made a donation to Inboxy for that, and I suppose that could be as well. And I made a donation to Kylo because I support them. I never actually used it, but they're making something for the 3DS here, where there was none. It's harder to get set up in Solana, but it takes work, and I'm glad that they're doing that. And they're also working on other things like like reviving Tomo and stuff like that. Actually, Turtle, text comments do exist, but they're limited to mods. The reason why it's limited to mods was always that it indicates that it was an official moderation message. Something that I'm going to be changing in accordance with the previously mentioned moderator terms and the way that I interact with the community is that I think moderator comments will become anonymous. In the same way that if you message the sudo mod mail bot and say no, you'll get a response from moderator. It could be me, could be any of the other moderators. But we always respond as moderator. And part of the training actually is how to avoid tells about who you actually are. Because in order to avoid issues in which somebody figures out who you are from a tell that's in the way you type or something, we have to learn to sort of adopt a common tone. And that's one of the ways that we're going to be depersonalizing support, which is essential in actually scaling it up and not making it so that we suddenly give authority to a couple of people here. It's important that moderators are not given too much authority or power to speak for the site, or too little, and that there is some accountability. So that's something that I learned when researching other moderation systems. I actually reached out to the moderators of a number of Discords. The sudo mod mail bot is actually running on the same one as the Dino Discord. The DinoBot Discord has a mod mail bot just like it because it's running on the same code. I reached out to that moderation team and I asked them some questions here. Let me see if we can actually find them here. I think I put them on my private. Just one moment here. All right, here's the questions that I reached out. So I reached out to a number of Discords here. The Legend of Zelda, the Breath of the Wild modding Discord, speedrunning Discord, the Dino Discord, the Blobs Discord, the Minecraft Discord, a number of large Discords that have to scale up here. And here's what I asked them. I said, hey, I was wondering if you could detail your moderation structure and any forms you might have to sign up a moderator. To be clear, I'm not interested in moderating your Discord, but I'm trying to find examples of well-established moderation teams or to do a desperately needed overhaul of our own moderation structure. We have about 1,700, recently pruned from around 2,100 members, and recent raids and whatnot have very much brought the need for a larger Sorry, 1 second. I lost my place. Very much brought the need for a larger moderation team into question. The usual issue is worry about giving the wrong people power or putting them in a place where they suddenly represent the entire organization, which is not what's intended. For example, we've looked at ideas such as helpers, in which the term implies sort of a part-time mob and not representing everything. Another issue that we've been working on is how to deal with decisions such as bans, where we may want to get a second opinion. Historically, the issue has been a matter of urgency. where there's little time with nobody at mine when you require a second opinion for names. That's the message that I sent to the moderation team for a number of discourse. I got some excellent responses back. So yeah, that's so that was part of my research there. Yeah, that's yeah. I'm not very good at the whole stream thing, but I'm willing to practice it and do more of it. Only Mason reports about footnotes. At the moment, that's true. Previously, that wasn't true. In fact, I was not actively involved in moderation of footnotes themselves. Other people would do that for me with a set of parameters and things to look through. And one of those parameters, of course, is that artistic expression can allow some liberty of what's posted, which is something that a lot of people complain about. At the same time, when you allow one thing but not the other, you set a precedent. So it's a very tricky thing. So we try to focus on doing things on a case by case basis and also we do take appeals, which is something that what was I? Oh yeah, there's something that people don't seem to really acknowledge. So people will say, "Oh, my footnote got false reported," or "My footnote got unfairly taken down. The mods are so bad." Top hat. Sam, if you happen to have moderator terms in the chat, if you would attend to the inappropriate reference in the chat, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's something that people don't really acknowledge. So we are very flexible on this. Not only do we say you can send a message to us to appeal the removal, and I'm actually going to be making that process even easier with new and upcoming improvements to Sudomemo. But since since late, I think since the rewrite actually, or maybe before that, you can actually download the footnote that's been removed by the moderators. You can download it and you can change it so that you get a second chance. So if you remove it from your DSI for some reason, like you don't have an SD card and you're constantly making footnotes or something, you can save that footnote again for a period of time after it's been removed. For a period of time before it's permanently gone. And you can make those adjustments so that they comply more with the spirit of the rules, and you can repost them. And we've noticed a lot. We've tried to address a lot of the annoyances of footnote of sort of the moderation systems of other Nintendo-based communities where you can post feature content, so that it's more friendly for the users. People don't really seem to acknowledge that though, because they like the outrage more than actually they're more interested in kind of the outrage and in finding something to get people to complain about and agree with them, more than actually resolving the issue. hope that helps answer your question. I may have been a bit of a long-winded thing, but that's something that matters to me. I believe the DS stood for Developer System because of all the new things they were adding to the platform. So anyway, any other questions? I might actually cut this up. I said I was going to cut it off in an hour, but I enjoy being in here. Okay. Do you want me to do the skin? I could do this. I'm laughing at a comment in the chat. I could do this again. I could do this tomorrow. I could do this every week if you want. Like Q&A, frequently asked questions, clear up things, clear up concerns, provide encouragement. Please participate in the Sudofox daily draw. Will there ever be a way to change titles on Sudofox before it shows up in the Discord? Yes, there will be. It's either going to be one of two things. One, you set the title before you upload. Or two, there will be a 5-minute delay after you upload before it's actually posted to the Discord, in which you could delete the footnote and it won't be posted, or you could change the title before it's posted. I also plan on adding some extra settings in here so you can choose whether or not you post your post in the Discord, like a toggleable setting here, because sometimes Dr. Awesome Gamer, I don't accept private messages in Discord. You'll have to reach out to Sudofox if you want to send in a submission. Yeah, there's 10 minutes left before the daily draw is due. Today's topic is Pose the Spitter. Actually suggested by somebody on the Discord. So, as always, you can visit it at dailydraw.sudofox.net. You can add blog to your favorites. You can bookmark the blog. If you bookmark things on Hatena, if you Camazard, I won't discuss moderation things in the live stream. But when will Sudofox release? Sudofox will. This was actually answered comprehensively very early in the video. Very early in the stream. Sudofox will reopen when A, finish adding a bunch of features. B, I finished with the moderator training, moderator documentation, moderator terms. Moderation terms already done. That's actually been out there for a little bit. Accessible, you can view it in the, I think somewhere in the news channel in Discord. It's not on the live site yet because theater sucks. But there's a number of things which have to change to make the moderator structure efficient. You know. So, and some users. Anyway, we're about to reach the 1.5 hour mark. If you want to draw a quick doodle for the Sudofox daily draw, you have 9 minutes to get it in. If we get 10 entries, we're probably not going to get 10 entries, but you can just make a really quick doodle, a little sketch, and put it in. We accept sketches. We accept full drawings. You have a day for each daily draw topic. And I really I want to have pseudomemo out by Christmas, but I don't think it's going to happen. However, if you want to support pseudomemo, we have a Patreon. By supporting pseudomemo, you're also supporting things like the archive project, because I don't think I can make two Patreons. A trailer when pseudomemo was done. Yeah. I do plan on releasing a number of videos about new features being added to pseudomemo, as well as a lot of things about me. Yeah. There's this guy who's a pretty great actor, and maybe I can ask him. Sam, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we are 1 hour and 30 minutes into the stream, and as such, I'm going to be ending it now here. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for sticking around to ask questions and join it. Please join the Discord. Please join the daily draw. I want to make the daily draw something that anybody of any skill level can enter here. Yeah. Sam, don't acknowledge it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, daily draw at pseudomemo.net. Take a break. Right. You guys have a great evening. And if you have any other questions or anything like that, feel free to join the Discord. We're ready to present, a little bit of information to prove that you're a real person. You guys have a great day. I might do this soon. So let me know if you want me to do this again. Bye-bye.